Ladies and gentlemen, as we step into 2025, we find ourselves in an era of uncertainty, rapid change, and endless distractions. We seek happiness, yet we are often caught in the storm of external events. News cycles, social media, and the expectations of others. But what if I told you that true happiness has always been within your grasp? The human mind is constantly occupied with thoughts about the past, worries about the future, and anxieties about things beyond our control. Much of our suffering does not come from actual events, but from our perception of them. We exhaust ourselves trying to influence people's opinions, control circumstances, and predict outcomes, only to find that our efforts are often in vain. This creates frustration, stress, and emotional turmoil. However, when we shift our focus toward what is within our power, our thoughts, actions, and choices, we liberate ourselves from unnecessary suffering and cultivate inner peace. At the core of this mindset is the realization that control is an illusion in many areas of life. We cannot control the weather, the economy, or the actions of others. No amount of effort can prevent unforeseen challenges, losses, or hardships. Yet, we often react as if we can, feeling personally wronged when things do not go our way. This resistance to reality is the root of much suffering. When we try to control the uncontrollable, we set ourselves up for disappointment. But when we acknowledge the limits of our power, we free ourselves from the constant struggle against external forces and redirect our energy toward what truly matters. This perspective does not mean adopting a passive or indifferent attitude. On the contrary, it encourages us to take full ownership of what we can influence: our reactions, decisions, and mindset. When faced with adversity, we may not control the event itself, but we always control how we interpret it and respond to it. This power lies within us at every moment. If someone criticizes us unfairly, we can choose to be offended and dwell on their words, or we can recognize that their opinion is theirs to hold and move forward without letting it define us. If a plan falls apart, we can lament our misfortune, or we can adapt and seek new opportunities. One of the greatest sources of anxiety is the fear of others' judgments. We often tailor our words and actions to gain approval, fearing rejection or misunderstanding. However, no matter how carefully we try to shape our image, people will always see us through their own perspectives, biases, and experiences. Their opinions are not within our control. When we accept this, we no longer waste energy trying to please everyone. Instead, we focus on living in alignment with our own values and principles, finding strength in authenticity rather than external validation. Another area where this principle applies is in our expectations. We often attach ourselves to specific outcomes, believing that our happiness depends on things unfolding a certain way. When reality does not align with our expectations, we experience disappointment and frustration. However, if we learn to detach from rigid expectations and instead embrace whatever comes with a flexible and open mind, we cultivate resilience. This does not mean we should not have goals or aspirations, but rather that we should approach them with an adaptable mindset. We take action toward what we desire, but we remain prepared for any outcome, knowing that life is unpredictable. Relationships also benefit from this wisdom. People around us will make their own choices, and sometimes they will act in ways we do not agree with. Trying to control others, whether through persuasion, guilt, or force, only leads to tension and resentment. Instead of fixating on how others should behave, we can focus on being the best version of ourselves. We lead by example, offer guidance when needed, and respect their autonomy. When we accept that people are responsible for their own decisions, we free ourselves from unnecessary frustration. The same applies to events that bring hardship or loss. No one is immune to challenges. Illness, financial struggles, betrayal, or unexpected changes. We do not control when or how difficulties arise, but we do control how we respond to them. If we resist and curse our misfortune, we only deepen our suffering. But if we accept reality and ask ourselves, what can I learn from this? How can I grow stronger? We transform adversity into an opportunity for growth. By mastering what we can control and letting go of what we cannot, we develop a sense of calm amidst life's chaos. We stop wasting energy on futile struggles and instead focus on what truly matters: our character, our actions, and our inner peace. This shift in mindset is not just a technique for reducing stress, it is a path to true freedom. Hardships are an inevitable part of life. No one is exempt from challenges, setbacks, or suffering. Yet, while some people crumble under adversity, others emerge stronger, wiser, and more resilient. The difference lies not in the nature of the hardship, but in the perspective with which it is faced. When we shift our mindset to see difficulties as opportunities for growth rather than mere obstacles, we unlock a profound source of inner strength. Hardships, no matter how painful, carry lessons that shape our character, deepen our wisdom, and refine our ability to navigate life with courage and grace. Adversity tests the depth of our patience and the strength of our resolve. When everything is going well, it is easy to be kind, optimistic, and disciplined. But it is in moments of difficulty that our true character is revealed. If we only practice patience when things are convenient, or only remain hopeful when circumstances are favorable, then these qualities are not truly ours. Hardships force us to cultivate genuine resilience. They demand that we either rise above our struggles or be consumed by them. In this way, challenges serve as mirrors, reflecting back to us our weaknesses, fears, and areas in need of growth. Every difficulty we encounter offers a lesson, though these lessons are not always immediately apparent. A betrayal may teach us the importance of trust and discernment. A failure may force us to reassess our approach and develop a better strategy. A financial loss may reveal the fleeting nature of material wealth and push us to find security within ourselves rather than in external possessions. Pain, though uncomfortable, often carries wisdom that comfort never will. If we approach our hardships with curiosity rather than resistance, we begin to see them not as punishments but as teachers guiding us toward a better version of ourselves. One of the greatest gifts of adversity is the ability to develop mental toughness. Just as muscles grow stronger through resistance, the mind becomes more resilient through struggle. When we face difficulties head-on instead of running from them, we build an unshakable inner foundation. We learn to adapt, to endure, and to find solutions where others might see only obstacles. Over time, what once seemed unbearable becomes manageable, and what once caused distress no longer holds the same power over us. The very hardships that once tested us become the very things that strengthen us. Suffering also deepens our capacity for empathy and connection. When we have endured hardship, we are better able to understand the struggles of others. Pain humbles us, reminding us that we are all vulnerable and that everyone carries unseen burdens. This understanding fosters kindness, patience, and a deeper appreciation for the shared human experience. Those who have faced their own trials with courage often become sources of strength and inspiration for others, not because they have never suffered, but because they have learned how to rise despite their suffering. To embrace hardship as a lesson does not mean we should seek out suffering or pretend that pain is pleasant. Rather, it means accepting that life's challenges are not meaningless burdens, but necessary elements of growth. Every great achievement, every act of courage, and every story of triumph is built upon a foundation of struggle. The difference between those who are defeated by hardship and those who are strengthened by it lies in their perspective. When we stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What can this teach me?" we reclaim our power. Life will always present difficulties, but within each challenge lies an opportunity for transformation. Hardships do not break us unless we allow them to. They are not barriers to happiness, but pathways to deeper wisdom, greater resilience, and a richer understanding of ourselves and the world. The more we embrace them as lessons, the more we unlock our true potential, and the less we are shaken by the inevitable storms of life. Living with purpose and virtue is the foundation of a meaningful and fulfilling life. Many people drift through life without a clear sense of direction, chasing fleeting pleasures, external validation, or material success without understanding why they do so. This pursuit often leads to frustration, emptiness, and a constant feeling that something is missing. A life guided by purpose and virtue, however, offers a deeper sense of fulfillment. One that is not dependent on external circumstances, but rooted in personal integrity, inner strength, and the knowledge that each action contributes to something greater than oneself. Purpose is the driving force behind a life well lived. It is not necessarily about grand achievements or recognition, but about aligning daily actions with values and a sense of meaning. When a person lacks purpose, even the most comfortable or luxurious life can feel empty. On the other hand, those who act with a clear sense of purpose find meaning even in the simplest of tasks. A purpose-driven life provides direction, clarity, and motivation, allowing one to move forward with intention rather than merely reacting to circumstances. It transforms struggles into opportunities, challenges into lessons, and setbacks into stepping stones. Virtue is the compass that ensures one's purpose is pursued with integrity. Without virtue, purpose can be misguided or even destructive. True purpose is not rooted in selfish ambition or temporary gratification, but in striving to live according to principles that promote wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. It is about doing what is right, even when it is difficult. A person guided by virtue does not compromise their values for short-term gain, nor do they act out of greed, dishonesty, or ego. They understand that real fulfillment comes from acting in accordance with what is morally and ethically sound. When life is aligned with virtue, decisions become clearer. There is no need for constant internal conflict over what is right or wrong, because virtue serves as a guide. Acting with honesty, treating others with kindness, standing up for what is just, and exercising self-discipline become natural ways of living rather than burdensome obligations. Virtue leads to consistency in character, allowing a person to remain true to themselves regardless of changing circumstances or external pressures. A purposeful and virtuous life also fosters resilience. When difficulties arise, a person who lives with purpose does not view hardships as meaningless suffering, but as necessary challenges that contribute to growth. They do not abandon their values when faced with adversity, but instead use those moments to reinforce their commitment to living with integrity. A life without purpose crumbles in the face of hardship, but one built on a foundation of virtue and meaning remains strong, no matter how turbulent the circumstances. Moreover, living with purpose and virtue enhances relationships and the way one interacts with the world. When a person's actions are guided by honesty, kindness, and a commitment to something greater than themselves, they inspire trust and respect. They cultivate deep and meaningful connections with others, not based on manipulation or self-interest, but on genuine care and shared values. Their presence brings stability and encouragement to those around them, reinforcing a positive cycle of ethical living and meaningful contributions to the world. True happiness and fulfillment come not from wealth, status, or temporary pleasures, but from knowing that life is being lived in alignment with deeply held values. It is about waking up each day with the knowledge that every action has meaning, that challenges serve a greater purpose, and that each moment offers an opportunity to act with integrity. Living with purpose and virtue does not guarantee a life free from difficulty, but it ensures that life is rich in meaning, wisdom, and fulfillment, regardless of the circumstances. When purpose and virtue become the foundation of daily living, life is no longer something that happens passively. It becomes an intentional journey toward growth, contribution, and true inner peace. Mindfulness and presence are essential for living a fulfilling and peaceful life. In a world filled with distractions, endless to-do lists, and constant digital stimulation, many people go through their days on autopilot, barely aware of their own thoughts, emotions, and surroundings. They dwell on the past, worry about the future, and rarely engage fully with the present moment. This disconnection creates stress, anxiety, and a persistent feeling of dissatisfaction. However, by practicing mindfulness and cultivating presence, one can develop a deeper appreciation for life, enhance emotional well-being, and experience true contentment. Mindfulness is the practice of fully experiencing each moment without judgment. It is the ability to be aware of thoughts, emotions, and sensations as they arise, rather than reacting to them impulsively. Many people live inside their minds, lost in worries, regrets, and hypothetical scenarios that may never come true. They replay past mistakes, imagining how things could have been different, or they anxiously anticipate the future, fearing what may go wrong. This mental chatter consumes energy and prevents them from fully engaging with what is happening right now. When mindfulness is cultivated, these distractions lose their power, allowing for a deeper connection to the present moment. Being present means directing attention to what is happening right now. Whether eating, walking, or having a conversation, presence transforms ordinary moments into meaningful experiences. Instead of rushing through meals while scrolling on a phone, one can savor the flavors, textures, and smells of food, appreciating the nourishment it provides. Instead of mechanically responding in conversations, one can truly listen, absorbing the other person's words and emotions, fostering deeper relationships. Every moment holds richness when fully experienced, but this requires letting go of mental distractions and immersing oneself in the now. Mindfulness also helps regulate emotions. People often react to situations based on ingrained habits and automatic responses. When something upsetting happens, they may become angry or anxious without pausing to reflect on whether their reaction is helpful. By practicing mindfulness, one learns to observe emotions as they arise, creating space between stimulus and response. Instead of immediately reacting with frustration, one can recognize the feeling, understand its origin, and choose a response that aligns with inner peace and wisdom. This self-awareness reduces unnecessary suffering and strengthens emotional resilience. One of the greatest benefits of mindfulness is its ability to reduce stress. Much of stress comes not from external events, but from resistance to them. People resist traffic, delays, misunderstandings, and unexpected challenges, wishing circumstances were different. This internal resistance fuels frustration and exhaustion. Mindfulness teaches acceptance, acknowledging reality as it is rather than fighting against it. By accepting the present moment without judgment, one finds peace, even in difficult situations. Challenges become manageable, and setbacks lose their power to disturb inner calm. Practicing mindfulness also enhances productivity and focus. In a world where multitasking is glorified, people often divide their attention among multiple tasks, reducing efficiency and increasing mental fatigue. They check emails while attending meetings, scroll through social media while working, and juggle several activities at once, believing they are being productive. In reality, divided attention leads to mistakes, forgetfulness, and shallow engagement. Mindfulness trains the mind to focus on one task at a time, leading to greater efficiency, deeper understanding, and improved problem-solving. The ability to be fully present in work, relationships, and daily activities enhances both quality and satisfaction in life. Another key aspect of mindfulness is self-compassion. Many people are harsh critics of themselves, constantly replaying past failures and measuring their worth against unrealistic expectations. This self-judgment creates unnecessary suffering and prevents personal growth. Mindfulness encourages observing thoughts and emotions with kindness rather than criticism. When mistakes happen, instead of falling into self-blame, one can acknowledge the error, learn from it, and move forward with greater wisdom. This gentle approach fosters inner peace and encourages continuous self-improvement. Engaging in mindfulness does not require special conditions or elaborate practices. It can be incorporated into daily life in simple ways. Taking a deep breath before responding in a conversation, fully experiencing the sensation of water while washing hands, feeling the rhythm of footsteps while walking, or taking a few moments to appreciate the beauty of nature. These small acts of awareness accumulate, gradually transforming the way one experiences life. Each moment becomes an opportunity to be present, to fully live rather than simply exist. By consistently practicing mindfulness, one develops a deep appreciation for life as it unfolds. The mind no longer dwells in the regrets of the past or the uncertainties of the future, but finds peace in the only moment that truly exists, the present. This shift in awareness brings clarity, resilience, and a profound sense of well-being, making life richer and more meaningful. The pursuit of material wealth and possessions is deeply ingrained in society. People often measure success by the size of their homes, the luxury of their cars, or the brand names on their clothing. Advertisements constantly push the idea that happiness can be bought, that the next purchase will finally bring lasting fulfillment. Yet, despite accumulating more, many find themselves feeling empty, restless, and unsatisfied. The cycle of desire never ends. What was once exciting quickly becomes ordinary, leading to the need for something new. True contentment, however, does not come from external possessions, but from cultivating inner peace and detaching from material desires. Material possessions are not inherently bad. A comfortable home, reliable transportation, and financial security can certainly improve quality of life. However, the problem arises when happiness becomes dependent on external things. If a person's sense of worth is tied to material success, they will always feel the need for more. No amount of money or luxury will ever be enough, because material desires are insatiable. The moment one desire is fulfilled, another takes its place. This endless pursuit creates stress, anxiety, and dissatisfaction, trapping individuals in a cycle of never-ending wants. Detachment from material desires does not mean rejecting all comforts or living in poverty. Rather, it means breaking free from the illusion that material wealth equates to happiness. It involves recognizing that possessions are tools, not the source of meaning in life. A person who detaches from material desires can still enjoy what they have, but they are not controlled by it. They do not fear losing possessions or constantly compare their wealth to others. Their sense of self-worth is not defined by status, appearance, or the accumulation of goods. This mindset fosters true freedom, as happiness is no longer dependent on external circumstances. One of the greatest burdens of material attachment is the fear of loss. When people invest their identity in their wealth, they become anxious about maintaining it. They worry about financial downturns, theft, or losing their status. They may overwork themselves to afford a lifestyle they do not truly need, sacrificing health, relationships, and personal well-being in the process. The more possessions one has, the more one has to protect. This fear-based existence prevents true peace of mind. However, when one understands that material things are temporary and external to their true self, they gain an unshakable sense of security that does not rely on external wealth. Detaching from material desires also leads to greater gratitude. When people constantly chase after more, they fail to appreciate what they already have. They focus on what is missing rather than what is present. But when they let go of the need for excess, they begin to see abundance in simplicity. A modest meal, a meaningful conversation, or a quiet moment in nature becomes deeply fulfilling. Gratitude shifts the focus from scarcity to abundance, allowing people to find joy in what is already available, rather than longing for what is out of reach. Living free from material desires also strengthens relationships. When wealth and possessions are no longer the center of focus, deeper connections with others become possible. Many people build their identities around status, using material success to impress or seek validation. This creates shallow relationships based on external appearances rather than genuine connection. However, when material concerns take a back seat, relationships become based on shared values, mutual respect, and emotional depth, rather than possessions or financial status. True friendship and love are not transactional, but rooted in authenticity and trust. Another advantage of detaching from material desires is the ability to focus on personal growth and purpose. When people are not consumed by the endless pursuit of wealth, they have more time and energy to invest in meaningful pursuits: self-improvement, learning, creativity, and service to others. Many of the most fulfilled individuals in history were not those who accumulated the most wealth, but those who contributed something valuable to the world. Their satisfaction came not from what they owned, but from the impact they had on others. Ultimately, material possessions will never provide lasting fulfillment. They may bring temporary pleasure, but that pleasure fades quickly. True happiness comes from living in alignment with one's values, cultivating inner peace, and appreciating life as it is. By detaching from material desires, people free themselves from the burden of always needing more. They become content, resilient, and at peace, no longer swayed by the illusions of consumerism. Their joy is no longer dictated by external possessions, but by the richness of their inner world. Life is fleeting, yet many people live as if they have unlimited time. They postpone their dreams, delay meaningful conversations, and assume that tomorrow will always be there. The reality, however, is that no one is guaranteed another day. Every moment is precious, and recognizing one's mortality is not meant to be a source of fear, but a powerful reminder to live fully. When people embrace the truth of their impermanence, they stop wasting time on trivial concerns, grudges, and distractions. Instead, they focus on what truly matters, living with purpose, expressing love, and making the most of every day. Awareness of mortality brings clarity. It strips away illusions and forces people to question how they are spending their time. Are they pursuing goals that genuinely fulfill them, or are they merely following societal expectations? Are they nurturing meaningful relationships, or are they letting pride and misunderstandings create distance? When people realize that time is their most limited and valuable resource, they stop wasting it on things that do not add value to their lives. They begin to prioritize experiences over possessions, moments over distractions, and relationships over ego. Living fully does not mean reckless indulgence or chasing endless pleasure. It means being present in each moment, appreciating the simple joys of life, and making conscious choices that align with one's deepest values. Many people assume they will be happy someday, when they achieve a certain level of success, retire, or reach a specific milestone. But someday is never promised. The only time that is guaranteed is the present moment. When people stop postponing happiness and start embracing life as it is, they find joy in the here and now. Mortality also teaches the importance of letting go of unnecessary burdens. Many hold on to resentment, allowing past wounds to control their present. Others carry regret, dwelling on mistakes instead of learning from them and moving forward. When people acknowledge that their time is limited, they realize that holding on to negativity is a waste of precious moments. Forgiveness, both of oneself and others, becomes easier. Letting go of grudges and regrets frees the mind and heart to focus on what truly matters, living with love, kindness, and purpose. The fear of death often causes people to avoid thinking about it, but embracing mortality can be one of the most liberating perspectives. It serves as a reminder to take action instead of procrastinating. If there is something important to say, now is the time to say it. If there is a dream to pursue, now is the time to start. Many people look back on their lives with regret, not for what they did, but for what they never dared to do. Awareness of life's impermanence removes excuses and encourages people to take risks, follow their passions, and make meaningful contributions while they still can. Mortality also deepens gratitude. The simple act of waking up each day becomes a gift. The ability to breathe, move, experience nature, and connect with others is no longer taken for granted. Many people only appreciate life when faced with loss or near-death experiences. But it should not take tragedy to realize how precious life is. Practicing gratitude daily transforms ordinary moments into sources of joy. A sunset, a shared laugh, a quiet walk, these become profound experiences when viewed through the lens of impermanence. Recognizing the brevity of life also encourages people to leave a lasting impact. Material wealth fades, but the way one treats others and the values they embody can create a legacy that endures. Whether through acts of kindness, meaningful work, or positive influence, people have the ability to shape the world in ways that outlive them. When guided by this awareness, life becomes not just about personal fulfillment, but about contributing to something greater than oneself. Instead of fearing death, one can use it as motivation to live more fully. It is not a distant event, but an ever-present reality that should inspire action, love, and appreciation for every moment. The time to live is now, not in the future, not when circumstances are perfect, but today. Every day is an opportunity to express love, pursue passions, and make choices that align with true purpose. By embracing mortality, people free themselves from hesitation and fear, allowing them to live with authenticity, courage, and deep fulfillment. Life is not infinite, and time waits for no one. Every moment that passes is a moment that will never return. The realization of mortality is not meant to bring fear, but to awaken the urgency to live fully, love deeply, and pursue what truly matters. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment, create it. Instead of dwelling on the past or fearing the future, embrace the present. Speak the words you need to say, chase the dreams that set your soul on fire, and cherish the people who matter most. When the final day arrives, may you look back not with regret but with pride, knowing that you lived with intention, acted with virtue, and left behind a legacy of meaning. True happiness is not found in how long we live, but in how well we live. And the time to live well is now.